Yeah, the juice. I like it. I like it. Two guys that I thought really came out, and not just today, but the whole deal. I think Kyle Williams has been ultra consistent. I don't think you saw that at all in the spring. He's probably has our highest rep volume through 11 or 12 practices wherever we're at, and had a really great red zone day. And then Warren Smith. It's just a good example for the freshmen. Everyone thinks they're just going to come in here and light up the world. It doesn't work like that. Even Warren at times in the spring looked a little awkward. Now he's comfortable. Now he's playing. He has a good pick. He's just playing with a lot more confidence running with the twos, so he's done a really good job so far.
You had the most important man in Cougar history out here today, and the one and only Jack Thompson. I see behind us right now, he's talking to a few of the guys. Just having him out here and having his message, what's it like for you guys?
I think it's so important for a guy of Jack's stature, one of only two retired, truly retired numbers in Washington State football history. The respect that just his name carries in Pullman is huge and important, and a guy that wants to give back every step of the way. I can't tell you how many times you look around the corner, any sort of adversity, Jack's right there. He's waving the flag for Cougs, and I think it's really important that we have guys just like that. And we have a lot of Cougs all over this country. When you can come back and you can share an experience, and he's talking to all of our Polynesian descent players right now, and how this place changed his life, and how he has turned this experience into something more and more and more, and has built up something really good for him and his family. And I just love that he wants to give back, and he's passionate about giving back. It's something that I want deep within all of our guys, that they have such a great experience here. Whenever they come back here, they just want to share that experience and give back to the next generation of Cougs.
We've obviously asked you about a lot of guys throughout the first 11 days now. Who is one guy we haven't asked you about or you haven't gotten to talk about that you really want to mention and call out?
Naeem Rodman. I think Naeem has slowly put together a really, really strong fall camp. And it's hard to talk about guys you don't see in the spring. We're talking about a guy with 1,000 snaps in the Pac-12, I believe, right? So there's so much experience. And he came in, he's one of those guys that's just a football player. You watch him in the summer training drills and the movement drills, and you're like, okay, let's see that translate. And oh boy, it translates. We're really excited about what he's done. He's given us a real legit option in the middle of our defense. Combine that with David and Nusi and Ansel coming along, it's a different group than it was last year. So really exciting about those guys. And I think a guy we probably haven't talked about in a while is Andre Dollar. I think he's really coming into his own, and I just want to see him keep progressing. Cam Johnson's another guy that come to mind. When I went back and watched the tape, 82 was making big plays in a lot of places. So he's a weapon. He can play outside and inside. So excited about those guys.
Just real quick, just didn't see Lincoln out here today. Just anything?
Yeah, Lincoln's away from the team right now with a personal matter.
Where does Andre's name rank among the best names on the team?
Oh, Andre Dollar, I know. I think it's pretty sweet. I think I would like that. I think he's up there. I'm trying to think any other names that kind of really strike out. I think there was a list this summer that Javinsky Schlembaker made, like a hard name list or something like that. So we got some good ones out here. You have to ask these guys about the nicknames, though. It's all about the nicknames now.
I'm curious about the selection process for the Juice guys. Is that entirely up to you, or
it's subjective? It's subjective. There are very few things I still control around here, but I think it's one of those things. I'm just looking for a few things, and it's consistency, it's effort, it's attitude, it's being positive. It's, hey, when something bad happens to you, what's your body language like? We talk about Juice as far as EGBs, energy-given behavior, right? So high five, celebrating other people's touchdowns, encouraging people when something bad happens. There's a lot that goes into that.
Where does this day rank among the best days for the secondary so far?
Well, it's hard to tell without watching the tape. I thought there was some really good things. Today was a very move the ball, right? I think we get to the certain point, we kind of throw away the scripts, and we need to play, even as play callers, as things are going. But I think our secondary's coming together. The hard part, Sammy's been nicked up, and now Jaden's a little bit nicked up, and he'll be back. Shaw's been consistent, but we haven't had 5 straight guys all the time. And not that that's nerve-wracking at this point, but we need to really gel those guys as we get to game 1.
So Jaden's not too serious then, or
No, he just stepped on a little a foot, rolled his ankle, and trust me, we're 2.5 weeks from game day. The best medicine is game day. It's amazing how those guys get off that injury report real quick.
I know you shouted out Warren because he's one of the Juice guys, but it seems like he's really kind of coming along for a freshman. What are you seeing out of him right now?
Well, we had high hopes of Warren. He was a highly recruited guy. He chose us because of relationships and I still remember his family and obviously out of Richmond, California, right there in the Bay Area. So El Cerrito's been great to us, and he's just another one of those long lines of guys that with length, size, and speed can really, really progress. And it just shows when you're comfortable, the real player comes out. He was really, really hesitant in the spring. And, you know, I just keep reminding our coaches, our players, like, give these guys time. Give these guys time. Our world talks about instant gratification all the time. I had a great conversation with Coach Ben, just talking about Justin Jefferson being the #1 receiver in the NFL, played scout team for 2 years. It's okay. It's part of the process. Remember that. So just a subtle reminders for our guys as we start to break off into scout teams now.
So Buddha kind of mentioned tackling, and then also Javen just kind of mentioned getting healthy. But I'm just wondering for you at this point, what things you still see that you feel like need the most work in the next couple weeks before you get to week 1, and what you really need to fine-tune to be ready for that?
Well, I think a lot of urgency. I think we've done a good job of not beating ourselves. You know, there's some penalties today as we got late in drives that we just can't have. Now it's just situational. Tomorrow we're going to spend the whole morning talking about every situation possible. Offense, defense, special teams. We're going to walk through that. We're going to take a big break in the day, and then we're going to have a real night practice. I think they'll bring a lot of juice to it. But just being consistent to the technique. When we're in the toughest moments, can we rely and trust in our technique? Like that's huge for us. And that's what the coach's job is to do, is create values for the players and make sure they're not hesitating in the toughest moments so our guys can be their best.
And then I'm just wondering, as this heat kind of starts to roll in, maybe with some of the new guys or guys that haven't been out here to experience this kind of heat in Pullman, just how you've seen them kind of react mentally and physically, and if you've almost seen kind of more passion out there just to show like it's not affecting them.
Well, our guys from the South, they laugh. They laugh at this. I mean, this is nothing. You know what I mean? And it's all mindset. We talked about it after practice. There's no situation or circumstance that can affect your focus and your mental attitude and energy for practice. There can't be, because guess what? In late October, there's going to be snow on that field. All right, and we're going to be wishing it was 98 degrees. Right? So there can't be a single situation that allows you to affect your focus and not being in the now. Right? So I love when these type of things and outside perceptions of heat warnings, you know, this is what you got to do. You got to be able to perform. In Wisconsin game, it might be like this, right? So you got to perform for 3 hours. So where's your mental going to be at? So we're working every phase of that, and this is just another one of those times.